After 4 days of deliberations, jurors in the case of a missing woman return a verdict without a key piece of evidence. Tracy Tetso's body has not been found. Good evening, I'm Kelly Swoop. Dennis Tetso was charged in the disappearance of his wife 4 years ago after she was reported missing. Cheryl Connor joins us now with reaction from the family and what's next.
And Kelly, the case may not be over. Tetso's attorney says he will file an appeal. He calls the evidence against his client prejudicial, but tonight Tracy Tetso's family is relieved, saying weight has been lifted from their shoulders. Tears and hugs outside of a Towson courtroom this afternoon. The family of Tracy Tetso has waited more than 5 years for this day. Her husband, Dennis Tetso, was found guilty of second-degree murder.
I think he's a coward. I think he's a coward.
On March 6, 2005, Tracy was headed to a Motley Crue concert in Washington, but she never made it there. This surveillance video of someone dropping her car off at a Days Inn lot in Glen Burnie surfaced. The picture is too distorted to tell if it's Tracy, but prosecutors argued it's too tall to be her. 3 hours of telephone conversation were played for jurors who were told to disregard the truth of what people were saying and instead consider their state of mind.
But in those calls, there were a lot of arguments between a husband and a wife in a bad marriage, and so there were lots of name calling, there was lots of cursing, there was, it just made my guy look like a bad guy.
Prosecutors argued Dennis Tetso knew his wife was going to divorce him and that she was seeing other men. He refused to help search for her, ripped down missing persons flyers from her home, and moved back into her house in the weeks following her disappearance. Dennis Tetso was arrested in 2009.
If you didn't have something to hide, you'd have been out there pounding the streets yourself.
The state's case lacked Tetso's body, and investigators never found any evidence, such as blood or DNA, to prove that Tracy was murdered. That's enough, according to Dennis Tetso's attorney, to file an appeal.
There was a lot of what I consider to be prejudicial, inflammatory evidence that the state, who did a very good job prosecuting the case, got into evidence.
I was really on a seesaw. I mean, 1 minute I was thinking, okay, it's going our way, and the next minute, well, maybe it's not.
Dennis Tetso is scheduled to be sentenced November 23rd. Cheryl Connor, ABC 2 News.
Thank you.